Hey, Shalom, Call Hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Chachadash, the ones that passes a great millstone, and Shalom to you brothers in the highways and byways, doing the works of sealing faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we are all found in that number. All right, so I believe I'm going to title this, What Else Do We Teach, Esau? All right, so throughout the course of time, over the past, few years, there have been many brothers, and sisters waking up to this truth. And the only thing that Esau has seemed to have done and continually do is push the fact that the black Hebrew Israelites are racist because we call the white man the devil, and pretty much that's all you're going to get when you hear mainstream media talk about the Hebrew Israelites. All right, and just by way of proof, this was from an article that I came across, ADL Fighting Hate for Good, okay, and it's mentioning the black Hebrew Israelites. So interestingly enough, as I scroll down, now they're just giving you a little synopsis. I'll put the link in the description box. Girls want to go back and recheck it out. And they're talking about how, certain individuals who commit certain kind of crimes or hate crimes, and know that they're Hebrew Israelites, all of a sudden that totally links up to any brother who's out there teaching on the highways and byways. All right, so Esau got some goddamn nerve, because whenever a cracker decides to do a shooting or killing, it's never lumped in as the so-called white man being, racist or being a killer. It's never, how should I put it? It's never associated with every single white person on the planet. Okay, but when somebody that identifies themselves as a Hebrew Israelite does something, all of a sudden it all comes back on the black Hebrew Israelites, period. Okay, but that's just the devil doing what the devil does, man. That's exactly what the devil does. All right, so that being said, I'm gonna scroll down to this third paragraph here, and just to give you a little insight of what I'm talking about. It says, there are many sects which refer to themselves with the variations of the name Black Hebrew Israelites. Some, but not all, are outspoken anti-Semitic and racist. It should be emphasized that the extremists and anti-Semitic sect of Black Hebrew Israelites are unrelated to the thousands of Black Jews and other Jews of color in the U.S. who are genuine members of the Jewish faith. Furthermore, they should not be confused with the Ethiopian Jews who mostly live in Israel today. Anti-Semitic Black Hebrew Israelites asserts white people are the agents of Satan, Jews are liars and false worshippers of God, and blacks are the true chosen people and are racially superior to other ethnicities, which is all true. Okay? Now, we don't see why Esau has a problem with that. Okay? It is the truth. They know it's the truth. We know it's the truth. But for some reason, they're still trying to hold on to their white power, if you will. All right? Continuing on, it says, today there are several noteworthy sects of Black Hebrew Israelites. For example, the Sakari Black Hebrew Israelites are a San Diego-based anti-Semitic and racist fringe religious group whose followers believe that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so just with that alone, if we believe that, the Native Americans, the Hispanics, and the so-called blacks, why is it consistently noised that we call ourselves the Black Hebrew Israelites? All right, when you clearly look at the Native Americans and the so-called Hispanics, you wouldn't consider them black people. But once again, they like to throw that term around, Black Hebrew Israelites, because it just brings a bad connotation, when you hear the word black Hebrew Israelites. But all that being said, so it says, they are an offshoot of a larger black Hebrew Israelite and echo the majority of the movement's core principles, including the beliefs that white people are the agents of Satan, Jews are liars and false worshippers of God, and blacks are the true chosen people. Their leader is Adonis Goid, Guad, whatever, however you pronounce it. I don't know if that's his slave name, I don't know. Who is also known as Elazar Banloya, or Hebrew Gorilla. It should be the Gorilla Hebrew, but while preaching in public, members of this sect may attempt aggressively to engage passerbys. Some members have also been involved with violent acts. And once again, man, if you know who brothers are and you know how brothers get down out there, you know, this devil's making it seem like all any black Hebrew Israelite group does is go out there and start fighting and screaming and hollering. And it says, another sect of the black Hebrew Israelites is Israel United in Christ, a New York-based group with a national and international presence, as well as including Newark, New Jersey. The leader of the group is Nathaniel Ray, aka Bishop Nathaniel Ben Israel. The group's mission is to spread the black Hebrew Israelite ideology and to educate black individuals of their true place in society. They are committed to spreading the ideology globally and recruiting as many black individuals as possible. They rely heavily on their social media to promote their beliefs, as well as hosting public activities such as marches and Bible readings. They reject Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, especially calling Jews the bastards that fund the slave trade. They blame Jews and other ethnicities for all the social ills plaguing black individuals and claim that the acceptance of this ideology in God will free the black people. I'm not gonna, pretty much, like I said, I'll leave the link in the description box. You brothers can go back to and check it out and read it. If you click on, if you go back and click on, please see our background, our backgrounder. It's pretty comical stuff, man. All right, so all that being said, right, these devils don't want to go out there and tell the world, what else we preach or what else we speak about. All right. And all that to say, some of the main things we speak about is the destruction of America. Okay. We speak about the destruction of America, how the Lord is going to come back and destroy it with those thermonuclear missiles Esau has created. Okay. But they don't want to talk about that. We also speak about the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which now Esau has dubbed them UFOs, unidentified flying objects, which we clearly know and understand where these objects come from and who sends them. All right. Now this is another key point, because now Esau is talking about all this disclosure, the UFO phenomenon disclosure. Right. So if you understand that the black Hebrew Israelites promote racism and hate and anti-Semitic, well, why don't you also put that the black Hebrew Israelites speak about these things that you call unidentified flying objects? We also speak about the chariots, which the chariots is a curse unto you devils. And when the Lord comes back, he's coming back with the heavenly host, as pursuant to Matthew's 25th chapter. Okay, and he's going to destroy the land with them thermonuclear missiles and with the chariots. All right. So, but Esau doesn't want you to know that we speak about these things. Okay, he doesn't want you to understand that these things that we speak about are concerning the chariots are of the Heavenly Father. All right. So let me jump down to verse 15. All right. So we'll get a couple of scriptures concerning the chariots and how, You know, if Esau had just proclaimed that, listen, these are what these guys are teaching, the whole world wouldn't be so goddamn mystified. You know, you even have these biblical, so-called biblical scholars and priests and pastors who don't even go into this, man. And I'm pretty damn sure they don't even know it's in the Bible. All right, verse 15. Specs on here. It says, now as I beheld a living creature, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creature was with 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels in their works were like unto the color of beryl, and there were 4, and they had 4 one likeness in their appearance. Let me get on part here. In their appearance and their works were as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. All right. So Ezekiel is describing this object that it came out of the heavens. All right. And he's describing it as a wheel within a wheel. And when the angels that were in the object came out, he described that as well. All right. But the point being made here is that the scriptures speak about these things, as Esau calls them, UFOs. You know, you have all kinds of press conferences, all kinds of media going down, all kinds of madness, trying to figure out the propulsion system and what are these things, what are we seeing, where they're coming from, and they're right there. This is supposed to be a God-fearing world, a God-fearing nation, right? And all they can do is sit there and talk about these are unidentified and, we don't have a clue what's going on. This is why he's the devil. Okay, this is why. All right, so let's get a few more scriptures, proving and showing that the chariots are of the Yahweh Shai, and they've been around for years, man, hundreds of years. 2 Kings 6:17 says, and Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes. Now, when you read the account, this young man that was with Elisha was concerned about the battle and the enemies, how there were several. And Elisha wasn't worried because he knew that the chariots of Yahweh Shai were up in the heavens. But the young man couldn't see these chariots because at that point, he probably saw the clouds and just thought they were regular clouds. All right, so let's continue. It says that he may see, and the Lord opened his eyes, opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountains was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. You see? So when the Lord opened the young man's eyes, he was able to see clearly what was going on and where these were. All right? Why doesn't the Pope, he's supposed to be the big man on campus, why doesn't the Pope get into these things, man? Why doesn't the Pope get on this little pulpit and just say, you know what, this is what we're seeing, these are where they come from, these are who, sets them up or what have you. He doesn't say a goddamn thing about anything. And he's supposed to be a man of God. The devil, that's what he is. Zechariah 5:1, it says, then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Okay? A flying roll. What was that flying roll? A chariot of the Most High. Known as, through Esau's realm, a UFO. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth before the face of the whole earth. Okay? So like I said earlier, these chariots of the Lord are going to be a curse unto you, Esau. And this is why you're trembling in your boots. You know exactly what they are. You know exactly what they're coming to do. And you're in fear of that. But to control the narrative in the masses, you put it out there as, we don't know what these are. We don't know what they're coming to do. And we don't know who sent them. Continuing on. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off on this side, according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it, and I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. Okay? So the Lord is coming back with them chariots to do some damage. Once again, Esau don't want people to know this is what we've been telling you and talking about, from the head apostles on down for over 30 years, man. If the world understood and heard the words of the prophets, there wouldn't be so much confusion going on. And now more than ever, you're seeing people, coming out with their cell phone footage, this, that, and the third, plain as day, chariots floating up above the, housetops. And I believe people have been posting these things to YouTube all along, but YouTube has been sanctioning these videos. All right? Where we at? This is Exodus. Yeah, this is Exodus chapter 13. And it started about we started 20. I started 21. Get right to the point here. And it says, no, I started 20. And it says, and they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. Okay? What was the Lord leading them by? A chariot that was above them. Now Esau in one of his anthems, what does he say? Stand beside her and guide her like a light shining bright from above. Where did he get that from? He got that from the story of Moses and the Israelites. As we read just now, that the Lord in verse 21, and the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. So Esau says he wants the Lord to bless America, as it says, God bless America, land that I love, which was written by a so-called Jew. Okay? You have all these so-called white people who are, anti-Semitic, humming and hawing about God bless America, but they don't even know a so-called Jew wrote that song. That's how confused and mixed up they are. All right? And it says, he took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. All right? So we understand what these objects now Esau calls objects or UFOs. We understand what they are, and we always have understood. But he's not going to let the mainstream media hear our report. Because if these guys are right about this, they're saying, what else are they right about? Esau's the devil. All Esau can do is push the narrative that the black Hebrew Israelites are nothing but racist. All they want to do is talk about Esau being the devil day and night, night and day. We don't have to talk about it. It shows in your goddamn works, man. Shows in their works who they are. All right. This is 2nd Ezra 13, and I'll start at verse 11. And it says, and they were all mixed together in the blast of fire and the flaming breath and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up everyone, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Okay, this is Esau when he's going to try to fight the chariots. When I saw this, I was afraid. Afterwards saw I the same man come down from the mountain and called upon another peaceable multitude. All right, let me see. I start up a little bit more. Hold on, Shalaki brothers. Okay, let me start up at I started up at 5, and it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. All right, and it says, but I would have seen the region or the place where without the hill was graven, and I could not. So this is how big the chariot's going to be that the Lord's going to be on. You see? Now, like I said earlier in the lesson, when you read Matthew, the 25th chapter, it tells you when the Son of Man comes with all the heavenly hosts with him. How do you think them angels are coming, man? They're coming in chariots. They're all coming in chariots. You know, this is the same man whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He's coming back in a big vehicle, okay, a chariot, to subdue the heathen, Esau, Edom, and all these other nations that are going to try to fight against us. Esau don't want that being brought out. He don't want people looking that up or trying to or putting these pieces of this puzzle together. Now you notice in this let me go from here real quick. Now you notice that they mention here the gorilla Hebrew, Eleazar, and they notice Nathaniel 7, right? But they don't mention the men of Great Millstone. Why is that? Why is that? And trust me, we all know that if they're mentioning the gorilla Hebrew in Nathaniel 7, they know clearly about Great Millstone. And this is the last thing they want, is to have people, you know, find out and hear about the men of Great Millstone from the head apostles on down. Esau doesn't want that, because the report that we have is faithful and true. And the last thing they want, because you got, you know, the gorilla Hebrew, you know, he's done, you know, he's out there doing the work. You can't deny that, you know. But at the same time, you know, some of his works, you know, with the Ginyan gang and all that stuff, people look at that shit as just entertainment. And then you got Nathaniel 7. He's not calling upon the name of the Lord, you know. So all in all, man, they don't want the men of Great Millstone to be followed, to be listened to, because they know there's going to be some heavy consequences if that starts to take place, man. So in other words, demonize the so-called black Hebrew Israelites, and just in that way you play it safe for yourself. All right, let's continue on. This is Acts 10. Now jump down to about the 11th verse. And this is when Peter was on the housetop. I'll start at 10. And it says, and he became very hungry and would have eaten. But while they had made ready, he fell into a trance and saw heaven open and a certain vessel descending unto him. Now where is this vessel coming from, and what is it? What type of vessel is it? All right. Esau likes to talk about Peter and Paul and the disciples and all these things, but they don't want to talk about the writings or the testimony of these men. Why is that? You know, how many people in the world think how many think they know about Peter having this experience when the vessel descended unto him? They probably have no goddamn clue, man. And I'm sure they don't, because the majority of the people don't read the Bible. They're being told what's in the Bible. And these devils, they're not going to tell you the truth about the scriptures, man. And I read it again. It says, and I saw heavens open, and a certain vessel descended unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the four corners, and let down to the earth. Okay? So this thing that came unto Peter was a very large chariot. Okay? But once again, these are the things that this devil doesn't want us to see. These are the things that this devil is going to try to hide from us. Okay? Or I should say, from the masses. All right? Now, when you watch some of these clips, you know, Esau is zooming in on them, zoning in on them, locking in their sights on them. Okay? But they can't stop it, man. They cannot stop what's inevitable. The chariots are going to be seen. The chariots are going to be recorded. All right? Let me speed up here. This is a real devil right here, boy. Hiding shit, boy. Let me get to one of these devils speaking. They're tracking them as if they have no idea what's going on. But all that being said, you know, we understand that this devil's gonna hide and lie and manipulate.
Look, nothing in the sky at all. Then all of a sudden, bam! What is that? Anybody tell me what that is? We're in the middle of the ocean. On a ferry. Nothing around. Look. Nothing around. No land, no nothing.
Là飛機啊，係飛碟喎，快啲落車睇下啦。落車睇下。
See, these are the chariots of Israel. Now, if this devil would make known that the Hebrew Israelite, the black Hebrew Israelites, go into this week in and week out, the world wouldn't be so mystified, man. They wouldn't be so goddamn puzzled and questioning, what is that? What are these? What is this? You know? All right, so with that, I'm going to end it right there. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description box to that site. You brothers can go back and read it. You know, like I said, there's some comical shit in there, how they come across on us. But other than that, Lord willing, you edified. I say shalom.